What's going on? We back. Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. We asked a question in the community tab. Would Stan Van Gundy have got this Detroit Pistons team to the playoffs? So I want to give my 2 cents on it. Appreciate everybody for checking back in. Make sure you check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All links in the description. You can DM me. You can email me. All the information in the description if you need to reach out for a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, or video request. And I appreciate everybody for checking out the other channel, man. Salute. I see a few brothers over there. Real Talk with Dewan. Salute. I see you over there. Fred Jackson, I see you over there. Appreciate everybody that's best with us on both platforms or both channels. But let's talk about the question. And I don't think Stan Van Gundy could have got the Pistons over there. I just don't think his style of play, how he wanted to play inside out, was working with the team. I don't 100% agree with Dwayne Casey's coaching style so far, but it's more effective than Stan Van Gundy. And Dwayne Casey, more of a people person. He listens to his players. He understands his players. And when you socially, can connect with your players, it's a different ball game. When they feel like they don't have the shackles on them no more, when they don't feel like they have to, do it one way and they can't express what will work. Dwayne Casey, you be like, I see them playing the pick and roll. They playing it too hard. You know what I'm saying? They playing the pick and roll too hard. We think we should do this, coach. You know what I'm saying? Or we should do more pin downs with the curls, coach. We should do this and do that. Dwayne Casey actually listens to his team. He listens to his players. They respect him. Stan Van Gundy was my way or the highway. There was no flexibility. And, obviously he didn't put his players in the best position to be successful. It's just plain and simple. Dwayne Casey got them playing better defense. Dwayne Casey is able to make adjustments like with Reggie Jackson where, Reggie, you ain't looking like yourself. We need you to be more aggressive. He's developing players better. He's putting more confidence in players. And, he don't have a short string. Will Stan Van Gundy had let Bruce Brown play out there like that this year? No. He felt that Bruce Brown probably was a liability on scoring. But Dwayne Casey saying, hey, man, the kid can defend. So we need defense out there. And he eventually get it. So he understands what it's like out there. He not sitting on a pine. We don't need to have that many great, people out there at once. We'll bring Glenn off the bench. We'll bring Ish off the bench, Langston off the bench. Dwayne Casey just instilled more confidence in players. He was more of a social people person with his players. Stan, he's not a bad guy. He lost touch with this NBA. Dwayne Casey was able to evolve. He's modernized the team, even though they're taking more threes, but it's more playing up to the par. Had Stan Van Gundy had this team, they probably trade their draft pick. They probably do a whole bunch of stupid stuff. They probably don't start to develop Bruce Brown. And at the end of the day, probably miss the playoffs. He probably don't give Blake rest days. They probably don't go to L.A. and make the West Coast Pistons, Detroit Pistons, whatever it was in the offseason. They probably don't listen to Stan Van Gundy. They probably do their own thing for the offseason in the offseason. So, pretty much Dwayne Casey just an overall better coach for this team. Not saying all the time he's better than Stan Van Gundy, but for this team and at this point in his career, he understands how to develop. He understands how to connect. He understands, how to read the players, and he just more in tune with the culture, man. He's a brother with a team full of brothers, young guys, and I think they respect him. I think his coaching ability is more suited for him, and I think he has some adjustments he can make. He can get better. He can find more ways to get Luke Kennard involved off the screen. But remember, this is the recipe that Stan Van Gundy put together. These are all his ingredients. And, Dwayne Casey's just rolling with it. He took his team and made it better for the most part. And sometimes the coaching just pass you by. He tried to play inside out with Drummond. Drummond didn't fit that role. They tried to play one way. He tried to fit a square peg in a round hole. And Casey was like, okay, let me get a round peg and put it in a round hole instead of trying to make it fit one way. So I definitely think that Dwayne Casey it's got a lot to do with making the playoffs. And Stan Van Gundy, they wouldn't have made it. It was just too much tension, too much just, culture difference. My way to highway, he ain't a bad guy, just that he didn't know how to adjust. He one of them old dudes stuck in his ways, and Dwayne Casey is an old dude that's just modern, that's moved with the NBA and modernize the offense, and he's able to connect with the players. So it's my personal opinion. It's Motor City Sports Talk. Once again, I appreciate everybody for checking the platform. Follow us on social media. All the links in the description. You can reach out to me in an email or DM me on social media. And just keep sharing the videos. The best way you can help. We gone.